Chapter 2, Mishnah 3. Before separating challah, we are required to recite a blessing. One whose erva, private parts, is uncovered may not recite a blessing. The Mishnah discusses whether an unclothed person may separate challah. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. A woman may sit on the ground and separate her challah while unclothed because she is able to cover herself. That is, she could sit in a way that her erva is covered. Therefore, she could recite the blessing and separate challah. But this is not the case with a man. That is, a man may not separate challah while unclothed, even if he is sitting on the ground. This is because a man's private area is exposed even when he sits in this way, which prohibits him from reciting the blessing on the mitzvah of separating challah. Therefore, he may not separate challah in such a case. When kneading dough that will have a challah obligation, one must take care that it should not become tameh. The reason for this is that if the dough becomes tameh, challah taken from it will also become tameh, and it is forbidden to cause challah to become tameh. The Mishnah discusses a case where the person kneading the dough is tameh and has no way to purify himself. We return to the words of the Mishnah. Someone who could not make his dough in a state of tahara because he is tameh and there is no mikveh available in which he could immerse, should make the dough into kav portions. Each portion is thus smaller than the minimum amount subject to the challah obligation. He may not make the dough in a state of tumah. That is, he may not knead a dough that is large enough to be subject to the challah obligation and separate challah from it. This is prohibited because the dough will be tameh, and as a result, he will be obligated to separate challah even though he will make it tameh. Since it is forbidden to cause challah to become tameh, he must avoid the challah obligation entirely by making the dough in smaller portions. The next Tana disagrees, but Rabbi Akiva says he should make it in a state of tumah, i.e., he should make it as large dough and separate challah that will be tameh. But he may not make it in kav portions to exempt the dough from the challah obligation, for just as one designates challah for a tahor dough, so too one designates challah for a tameh dough. That is, regarding this one, tahor dough, he assigns the name challah to the portion separated, and regarding that one, tameh dough, he assigns the name challah to the portion separated. We thus see that just as challah separated from tahor dough has sanctity, so too challah separated from tameh dough has sanctity. Kav portions, on the other hand, do not have a portion that is assigned the name challah. That is, no challah is separated from them, and it is more important to have a portion of one's dough sanctified for Hashem than to prevent challah from becoming tameh. Therefore, he should make one large dough even though the challah will be tameh, because by doing so there will be a portion that is sanctified.